once more, but unlike last time,
nah, fuck that. Story time. Fuck that. Story time. I'm pretty sure I told this story a couple times. Elementary school, 2nd grade. I am in my West Walker jersey. Yes, I'm this close up to the fucking microphone.
I don't give a fuck about that shit I was talking about. I don't give a fuck about that shit that they talk about. Money coming in like a big rate. Money coming in like a big safe. Loaded up, smoking up, talking at the cake. Ski mask, come for the loot. Yeah, come for the big bag, bitch. I want your loot. Came for the big bag.
Hi there. It's the one on the V side on the TJ. If you guys did not know, I am a Tom Brady fan and a Patriots fan. And y'all know me. I have Tom Brady as my greatest athlete and the greatest NFL player of all time. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., Mr. 7 Rings, the GOAT of GOATs, to say the least. However, throughout my time and throughout my lifespan of me being a fan and my entire life, I've seen Tom Brady do nothing short of winning, to the point where everyone calls me spoiled for simply having to watch the GOAT and the GOAT franchise at it each and every single year. But what comes with that is heartbreak, disdain, and as you guys can tell, you see how old this shit is? I've had this shit since I was a child. Yeah, motherfuckers. I had this shit since I was a child. I still got this shit to this very day. And throughout those tough times, I had to watch heartbreak after heartbreak, moment after moment in my time. So it wasn't all fun and games. Even though, yes, indeed it was from time to time, but there was times where the football gods will humble me and strike lightning upon me like I am Eric Cartman on that iPad episode when he was talking about every time he gotten fucked. This was one of those moments for me, as we're going to be looking through all of Tom Brady's losses in the playoffs. While I'm watching this, I'm going to be trying not to reminisce and think about all the pain. Because more importantly, you guys know I became a fan specifically in 2007. When it all started for me as a Patriots fan. However, after that, I have seen my fair share of heartbreaks. I've had to sit back, and I think this will probably be the first time and only time on this channel we will talk about the 2 incidents. I repeat, I will never, ever on this channel again speak about those 2 incidents. So y'all better savor this moment. I'm never talking about those 2 incidents again. Only for this video. That is all. Now, shout out to Tub Frog. It's been a while since I watched them, so let's do this.
Okay, so
Look at the glorious go in the back. Look at the glorious man in the background, man.
Whatsoever. And when New England was at its best, just keeping the game close versus Tom was like the crowning achievement for some franchises. And the scary part is, Tom got better in the playoffs.
Yep.
His aura was
Cold-blooded.
through the roof. And to this day, his 7 Super Bowls,
More
than
rings. More rings than any other franchise. Think about it, y'all. There is 32 teams in the NFL. 32. And one man has more rings than all of them. 6 of them being with one franchise. The legendary New England Patriots. And he even got one with Tampa. See, he's the GOAT of GOATs.
Regular franchise speaks
like
for
if I ever had a
itself.
pet goal, I'm naming
He
him
is
Tom.
mortal.
I'm naming him
And
Thomas
throughout
Edward
his
Patrick Brady
career,
Jr.
He lost 13 total playoff games. Some of them devastating, some just plain unlucky, but all of them were shocking because nobody ever expected Tom Brady to lose. And the most shocking one might have been his first one ever, as in 2005, Tom Brady and the Patriots took on the Denver Broncos in the divisional round. And at this point, Tom Brady was 10-0 in the playoffs.
Because think about it. Again, to add more little salt to it, literally, the moment I was born in 2004, the Patriots just won the Super Bowl. Literally, when I was just born, the Patriots just won the Super Bowl, and they went back-to-back my first 2 years on this earth. They went back to
Patriots
back.
had been unbeatable for so long. They were hunting a three-peat and had
Yep,
won Super
hunting that
Bowls in
three-peat. Beat the
2003,
Panthers, and then
2004,
beat the
and in
Eagles.
2001. So if they won the Super Bowl this season, this would have been their 4th in just 5 years. But this year, the Patriots had a lot of weaknesses. Rodney Harrison, their all-pro safety, suffered a season-ending injury.
Rodney
Teddy
and Teddy.
Bruschi, their linebacker, suffered a stroke, and even Bill Belichick lost his father earlier this season, so the team was bleeding. But with Tom Brady, they always had a chance, and they were also going against
the Golden Boy,
fucking Jake Plummer. So everyone expected
Jake Plummer. Like, again, running theme of these are the main elite quarterback that has defeated Tom was Peyton, and maybe Joe Flacco. That's it. Joe Flacco. That's really it.
Brady and the Patriots to get the job done, but this game was super slow.
The rest
and
of them at best
sloppy
mediocre.
Because, as will be the theme of this video, if you can
But
get
it's
pressure
always
on Tom,
like, again, the main theme of all the losses was the fucking front seven. It was always the defensive line. If you had a stacked defensive line against us and our line wasn't ready, we were in for a long game.
Brady and make him uncomfortable, then you had a shot at beating him. And the Denver defense held Tom to 0 points for most of the first half, but the Patriots defense kept them in the game. Asante Samuel had an insane first half, but right before halftime, the Patriots just imploded. The whole game completely changed when running back Kevin Falk fumbled before the half, which led to a Denver score, and then the Patriots fumbled the ensuing kickoff, and all of a sudden Denver had a 10-3 lead at halftime. But we've seen Tom come back from harder situations, but then Tom made probably the biggest mistake of his career to this point, as inside his own 10, he was blitzed, threw off his back foot to Champ fucking Bailey of all people, a Hall of Fame cornerback.
I mean, I'm sure Champ Bailey ended up running his back foot pick 6, right? He did it. He didn't, but they still ended up scoring.
Get off.
Oh, JD is outside.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident up to 1 year ago? Even if you weren't driving. Just click the link around this video to see how much you can get.
And didn't run it all the way back because from the other side of the field, tight end Ben Watson made the greatest hustle play of all time. And although it didn't end up mattering because Denver punched it in and
touchback that would have been
scored, going up
huge.
17-6,
But it wasn't.
the Patriots at least had a chance to get back into the game. So just, let Tom do something, and they fumbled. They fumbled instantly. They fumbled another return. And Denver would win the game 27-13, giving Tom Brady the first playoff loss of his career. So although Brady was bad, like, you can't have this many fumbles and win on the road in the playoffs. It's not gonna happen. But although this loss hurt, his next one was a lot more personal, at least.
The next one, there was something. There was something going back and rewatching that as a kid. Mind you, I used to have the DVDs of all the Super Bowl champions from like 2000 and... So starting with the Patriots all the way up to like the Saints when I stopped getting DVDs. So around that. And I remember I had the Colts one. Let me to tell you, I was in pain watching that game. But I was entertained. The greatest rivalry in NFL history is Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. There will be no other rivalry in NFL history that is better than Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. That is the rivalry in the NFL. The rivalry.
In the
arguably the best rivalry in
2006
sports.
AFC Championship game, Tom Brady played against Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts, and at this point, this was the rivalry in sports.
Yep.
They even did a little cute intro thing saying this rivalry was defining the generation, and although a little buttery, they weren't wrong. In my eyes, Brady and Manning are two top 3 NFL players of all time, and this game was peak Tom Brady and Peyton Manning football. But early on, it didn't look like that because
straight
Tom
belt to
was
ass.
laying ass
Straight
to
belt to
and
ass.
back to the ass again. It was 21-3, and Peyton Manning was just sobbing in a pile of tears and drool on the bench. Tom was the dominant one in this relationship. It was all Tom dictating what was being done in the bedroom. But Peyton Manning is still Peyton fucking Manning.
And Peyton still fought. And then, as an adult realizing this shit, Peyton needed it. And again, even as a kid, I understood Peyton needed that game. He needed that game for his legacy. Because if we was to continue to put belt to Peyton Manning, it wouldn't even... Peyton would have still... Well, Peyton's still underneath Brady, but it would have been a whole different discussion because we would have ended up beating Chicago. And Brady would have had 4 rings. He would have had 4 rings before Peyton Manning had 1. So Peyton needed to come back in this game. He needed, and it was cinema. It was cinema. This was my job.
And after
Even when I was like
Peyton
2 years
tied it at
old.
21 all,
Oh,
it was
about to be
war
2 years old.
from here on out. Tom and Peyton were trading.
Just anything
blows
watching
left
Peyton
right.
and Tom Brady was
Tom
insane.
had this sequence, man, where he threw a dime to Resh Caldwell, who was wide
Dropped
open
it.
in the end zone.
Yep.
Dropped it, and then Tom said, "Okay, you
Says-
fucker, get back in the huddle. We're doing this shit again." He then made an even better play than
Get
the
off
last
me.
one and
Die.
threw a laser to the back of the end zone, and they scored, only to be matched by Peyton Manning. And eventually, the game was 31 all with 5 minutes.
Now, one
left in the
thing I will admit sometimes with Belichick, some of his decisions in the late game sometimes didn't make sense. It didn't sometimes.
Could
It didn't.
Tom
bro.
Brady do it? Could he overcome the adversity as he had done in all of his Super Bowl wins in the past? In 2001, he had a game-winning drive versus the Rams, the same versus the Panthers, and the Eagles game was a little bit less close, but still he had to come up clutch. And at this point, he had a 12-1 record in the playoffs, so surely he'll get it done, but the Patriots took the ball out of Tom's hands and ran an HB draw and had
third
to
and
settle
10.
for 3 on the clock, down 34-37. Tom
Yeah, that's
still had a
running that
chance,
ball
but
and
now
ended
the
up
odds
coming
were
back
not
on
in his
us.
favor.
'Cause
And
Peyton
it
had a
also
whole
should be
drive.
said that this game was the Super Bowl. The Chicago Bears would advance to the Super Bowl from the NFC side, but
It was a free
pretty well believed
Literally,
that
because it was either gonna be us or the Colts, and literally the Saints with Drew Brees. Drew Brees that first year, him and Reggie Bush, they were cooking. They were cooking,
both the
man.
Patriots
But
and
Chicago had a good
Patriots smacked the
defense.
shit out
But
of them.
regardless, we were
But
gonna
Tom
win
had
that
to
game.
focus on this
We
game,
were gonna win the
what
Super
was in
Bowl.
front of him right now, and he started moving to the 40. And at this time,
After
Peyton
dot,
was
after
praying
dot,
on the
after
sideline.
dot.
The camera would zoom in on him, just
Like,
in an absolute
even Peyton
manic
gave
state,
up on this
hoping
shit.
that his Stockholm syndrome.
Answer this. Like I said, this is the only time I am talking about this game. This is the only time that I will rewatch this game. If it was any other time, I wouldn't even pay attention to this shit. This shit doesn't exist to me, but since it's here in front of my face, and I am an adult, I have to talk about it. See, this was my first year as being a football fan. I watched a game console. I was 3 years old. And I saw Tom Brady and Randy Moss for my first year of watching the NFL as a 3-year-old kid torment and dominate the NFL, in which they went undefeated, 17-0. They done defeated top team after top team after they defeated Dallas, they defeated Colts, they defeated everybody. They even defeated the team that played us in the Super Bowl. And we were ready. But there were some little flags that started to come in during the Chargers game. But then we still managed to pull it off. But then this game right here, this incident will later start a rather black hole, the black cloud that I can never get over my head. Because if you guys didn't know, I am a kid from New York City. And I have to live with the fact that all of my homies who don't even watch fucking football having to have this shit over my head for life. So, this one and the second one will be the only times I talk about this and watch it. Any other time, I will skip it. But as of right now, we will watch it.
2007 Super Bowl. Giants versus Patriots. This game is still remembered to this day as potentially the greatest upset in sports history, and unfortunately Tom Brady is not on the good side of that. This game had an unbelievable amount of storylines behind it for Tom Brady specifically. This year, the New England Patriots went undefeated. They were 18-0 by this point, had already completed the first ever 16-0 regular season. Tom Brady was a near unanimous MVP. He had a record-breaking season with Randy Moss, with the two of them becoming completely unstoppable, and all they needed needed to do was win one more game. And going into the Super Bowl, the Patriots were 2-score favorites, despite Tom Brady suffering an ankle injury versus the Chargers in the previous playoff game. But he's Tom Brady, I'm sure he's fine. So they were heavily favored. They were expected to destroy the New York Giants.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna repeat this again. It wasn't him! It was his defense! Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, that front seven kept on applying pressure to us all fucking game. It wasn't the fuckhead. It wasn't number 10. It wasn't that bitch-made ass nigga. It was their defense that beat us. He was still mediocre. That defense gave us hell. That is the sole reason why we lost that game. That game was the definition of defense wins championships.
Who were considered one of the worst playoff teams ever, but they still fought to get to this point. So they deserved respect, and they came out there with a perfect plan.
Look at the hits. Look at the hits.
How the previous teams have beaten
the
him.
hits.
You hit him quick, you hit him early, and you hit him often, and he is going to get thrown off his game because, like every quarterback is, if you have a 6'3" massive human being trying to knock your head off every play, yeah, it's going to throw off your rhythm a bit. And so that's how the game went. It was
literally
a slow, low-scoring affair with the Patriots defense still limiting Eli Manning, and because this is the greatest team of all time, the Giants were still behind late. As with under 5 minutes remaining, Tom Brady did what he always had done and brought the Patriots right down the field and scored, hitting Randy Moss, and the Patriots were up by 4, meaning that Eli Manning had to go down the field and perform a miracle. They didn't need a field goal. That was not enough. They needed a touchdown to win the game, and then just absolute real.
I'm not watching that play. 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 I am not watching that play. I'm not watching that play. I'm not watching that play. I said I'll rewatch the shit, but I'm not rewatching that play. I'm not watching that play.
Almost turnovers, damn near in a row.
Look it! Look! You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Stop fucking glazing the nigga, bro. The nigga sucks. Eli Manning is dirt. The nigga sucks, bro. The nigga's ass. He got lucky. That's it. That is it. Lucky and defense. That's it. The nigga was shit. Other than that, the nigga was dirt. Nigga's the most overrated quarterback in NFL fucking history, bro. Fuck him, bro.
And the helmet catch happened.
The luckiest fucking catch ever, bro.
To almost throw another pick, but
literally,
fine, let's skip that cutscene. And
that's his theme. He throws interceptions. He throws picks and makes the same dumbass face every fucking time. He throws interceptions, makes the face. Throws interceptions, makes the face. And somehow, the football fucking gods decides to curse me with this shit. I have to live with the fact that, again, they don't even fucking watch football. They don't even know what the fuck football is. BS say Eli Manning towards me like that gonna mean some shit. You understand how this shit fucking pisses me off. And the second one, ooh, don't get me started on the second one.
Move on to Eli Manning throwing the game-winning touchdown, and Tom Brady sat on the sideline and watched in horror as the undefeated season was taken away from him. This just stamp of immortality he could have next to his legacy was gone. Eli Manning took it away, and Tom Brady went home a loser, still not having won a Super Bowl since before his first playoff loss of his career. And this stretch of losing would continue. In 2008, Tom Brady was injured and out for the whole season, and by the time he came back in 2009, he was amazing. He had an incredible comeback season, and although this was now a different core compared to the early 2000s dynasty team, this was still a very good Patriots team, and they were expected to take care of the Baltimore Ravens in the 2009 wildcard. But this quickly became the most surprising and shocking loss of Brady's career. Because
Ray Lewis kicked our ass. That's what happened. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed kicked our ass. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed kicked our ass.
Into this game, the Patriots were undefeated at home this season. They had never lost a game, period, versus the Baltimore Ravens. They had never lost a home playoff game since the 70s, and they got annihilated by Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Rice ripped off a 60-yard touchdown right away, and then Terrell Suggs got a strip sack on a 3-man rush, and what the fuck is happening? The Patriots are getting blown out in the first quarter. They scored again to make it 14-0, and then once it was 24-0, yeah, the blowout was cemented. But to be fair, this was a tough Ravens team. They had prime Ed Reed, prime Ray Lewis. Joe Flacco was still young and didn't do anything in this game, as he went 4 for 10, 34 4 yards and a pick, and they won the game 33-13. And Tom Brady was just not able to keep up with fucking, I don't know, Ray Rice. He was dragging bodies all over the field. But yeah, Brady had 3 picks, got punched in the mouth right away, and it was just hard for him to recover. But if this loss, you know, was a bee sting, this next one was a fucking automated side load dumping a heap of garbage all over it, because this one fucking hurt. The 2010 Patriots were one of the most underrated teams of all.
I'm not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. See, I get it. I decided to react to this video, right? But I know the consequences. And I know I have to sit back and rewatch as the fucking Jets. I don't even
This team was genuinely unbelievable. They would beat 99.7% of all teams in the history of football, but not the New York Jets in the 2010 divisional round, apparently. Brady and the Patriots were Super Bowl favorites. They had everything going for them, and Tom Brady had been having one of the most efficient seasons ever. With his new weapon, Rob Gronkowski here, he went 339 pass attempts without a pick until he threw an interception inside the 15-yard line, and then you know, the Jets proceeded to completely jet and miss the field goal, so at least he got away with that one. Also just crazy, but the man who missed this field goal for the Jets, by the way, was Nick Folk. He's still in the league right now and playing good football. He was a veteran kicker back in this 2010 playoff game between Tom Brady and Mark Sanchez. Jesus. Anyways, yes, I said Mark Sanchez was the quarterback of the New York Jets this game, and he played a great game, but it really was the Jets' defense, again, that was giving New England hell. And they had a hell of a defense this year. Antonio Cromartie, Darrelle Revis, and even the pass rush was relentless in this game. And after a Braylon Edwards touchdown, the Jets were up 14-3. The question just was, could they hold off Thomas Edward Patrick Brady? Sexually, no, but physically, probably, as Mark Sanchez was able to make plays when he needed them. Although the Patriots were able to fight back and make it a 3-point game, a 58-yard play and then a Santonio Holmes just ridiculous toe-tapping touchdown ended a legacy drive by Mark Sanchez, and the game seemed to be over. Tom needed to be a hero again, but on 3rd and 13 and 4th and 13, he had good protection, but all of his receivers just got strapped. Nobody was open, and they turned it over on downs, and it was over. The New York Jets scored a garbage time touchdown and won it 28-14 in New England in the first playoff game for the Patriots. This, besides the 2007 Super Bowl, is the most shocking defeat in all of New England Patriots.
You see the theme here? You see the theme? You see the theme? You see the theme? You see the theme? New York teams, my own hometown. My own hometown. My own hometown.
It really hurts that they went out the way they did, because they were probably better than the Steelers this year.
And we was better than the Steelers. And we definitely would have beaten the Packers. We would have beaten the Packers. Alright, hold up. It would have been a good game because Rodgers was on one this season. I ain't gonna hold you. Aaron Rodgers was on one. That Packers team was on one. They would have gave us a run for our money. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. They would have gave us a run for our money. But we could have won the Super Bowl, though. We could have went all the way and win. We could have get past the butt fumble and the Jets. I bet my homeboy watching this is like,
it just didn't work out that way. But yeah, this one hurt.
Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
Again, might have hurt even more. It had been about 7 years since Tom Brady had won a Super Bowl, but in the 2011 season, he was finally back. And this was his chance to break this drought, because before this playoff run, Tom had lost 3 straight playoff games. But now, revenge was here, and they were facing the New York Giants once more. But unlike last time
fuck that. Story time. Fuck that. Story time. Story time. I'm pretty sure I told this story a couple times. Elementary school, 2nd grade. I am in my Wes Welker jersey. Yes, I'm this close up to the fucking microphone. I am wearing a Wes Welker jersey in my 2nd grade class. Everyone is talking about the Super Bowl and how they think the Giants are gonna win. I'm saying my Patriots are gonna win. My future 5th grade teacher pulls up, looks directly at me, and I look at him and say, we are going to win this Sunday. In my Wes Welker jersey. Every kid at lunch looked at me funny. Every kid in the school looked at me because I had faith. And by all means, the following Monday of that very same weekend, I had to sit there and endure in a little parade in the hallway as I walked through that second grade floor with all the second graders having fun, even the third graders. I walked past all of them in my Wes Walker jersey, and I stared at each and every single one of them as they looked at me, and I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't want to go to school. I was even thinking about dropping out. I didn't even know what the fuck dropping out was. Maybe I should have around that fucking time, but I had to sit there and then watch. And also my dad telling me, by the way, happy Father's Day, my dad telling me that he was watching the parade from his job, that some people were in there doing parades. That right there started my full on hatred for Eli Manning. You don't understand. I hate him with every fiber of my being. You know how Seth Rollins hates Roman Reigns? You know how Edge hated John Cena? It's that. You know how Kendrick hates Drake? It is that deep. It is that deep. Because of this game in particular. That ignited my hatred for Eli Manning. So for those of you who didn't know, now you know. This game, this moment, that day started what's now been, I don't know what year, hatred of the most bitch-made, fuck-all person I have ever seen in my life. And that is Eli Manning. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry. It's just when it gets to this point, I have to let it out. This is the only video where I can let it out. Let's just get to the game. Just mute it. Good.
Papers for your PC with Bing.
I don't even want to look at the highlights
It
because of the
was a
camera.
dream start for the New York Giants.
Yeah,
They had a
Justin
crazy
Tuck.
pass rush again and got a quick lead, but then Tom came back, and after a near dead
Aaron
first
Hernandez.
half, early in the third quarter, they were up 17-9 after they hung one up for Aaron Hernandez, and he came down with it. So it was back.
Did he just say what I think he just said? Hold on, wait a minute. I heard that wordplay.
They were up 17-9 after they hung one up for Aaron Hernandez, and he came down with it. So it was back and forth. This was a close game where both teams seemed evenly matched, opposed to the 2007 Super Bowl where it just seemed like the Patriots were shitting themselves. But New England just needed their guys to go up and make some plays. But they kinda didn't. Tom ended up throwing a 50-yarder down the field for Gronk, but he got clamped by a linebacker who the Giants cut earlier in the season. And then again, with 5 minutes left, on 2nd and 11, Tom found a wide-open Wes Welker, who usually never drops anything, but...
And I had his jersey on in school the following Monday! And I had his jersey on, and they were looking at me funny, and I still voted for this nigga. I didn't care. Fuck out of here. I roll with Wes Walker to the very fucking end even after that shit. And then, what made it better, my 5th grade teacher had the banner in the classroom. I ended up being in this class, and he had the banner right there. Every time you walk in the classroom, the banner was right there. So every time I walked in, I just saw it, and I instantly got triggered every single time.
He sort of contorted his body in a weird way, and he dropped it. And that would have made a field goal easy for New England, but instead, they had to give the ball back to Eli Manning. Which, you know, isn't the end of the world. Eli still had to go the whole length of the field. And then he casually made another one of the top 5 best throws in the history of football. And I don't say that as a hyperbole. Seriously, 2 of the greatest throws ever made were by Eli Manning versus Tom Brady to win a Super Bowl, as he threw a perfect pass to Mario Manningham on 1st and 10, and Brady just sat on the sideline, a shattered man, as he had to watch Eli just go down the field, locked the fuck in this time. It wasn't like 07 where he was almost turning it over on every play. They made it look too easy that they didn't even mean to score so early, but Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora, Jason Pierre-Paul, and the whole Giants defense made it official, and the New York Giants handed Tom Brady his second Super Bowl loss and his 6th overall playoff defeat. So it's just the same teams that keep beating him, man. The Giants, the Ravens, and again, in 2012, it's the Ravens. His 7th Super Bowl loss.
You know what? That one, you know what? There's some losses on here that I respected. I respect that loss because it was their revenge for the following year. What happened? Billy Cundiff shanked it, and then Ray Lewis on his retirement year. After what I saw, what they did in Denver, I was skeptical. I was kind of scared. I usually against the Ravens, I was nervous, but this game in particular, I was nervous as fuck. I deadass did not believe I believe we was gonna win, obviously, but a part of me was like, Ray Lewis might try to pull off the miracle, and my God, he did. I can't even get mad at that because Ray Lewis ended up winning the Super Bowl, and he ended up retiring on top. I can't get mad at that. I can't get mad at that. Like the other losses after the second one, I kind of, like, it doesn't really hurt me as much. The second, that last loss that we just saw hurt me more than any other loss ever. That is the most painful loss I've ever had to deal through. That's why I just did that rant. That is the most painful loss I've ever experienced in my lifetime. No other loss will ever come close to that. No loss in sports is gonna come close to that, bro.
Once more, that narrative of Joe Flacco being his kryptonite was starting to not only get some steam, but just become straight up legitimate. Early on, it was a slow start for Baltimore as New England had a 13-7 lead at the half, and again, it was anyone's game. Joe Flacco was having a lot of trouble getting going, and Tom Brady seemed to be playing the long game. He was just doing a little bit of warming up, so to speak, and then Joe Flacco just pulled his dick out. I don't know. Joe Flacco went right down the field and found Dennis Pitta to take a lead, and his Flacco...
And then another theme was our defense. Our defense was slowly regressing throughout the years. Slowly. And then we picked everything
It's just,
back up.
again, so funny to see that Joe Flacco is still slinging it in 2026, and he was giving Tom Brady hell 15 years ago. And the Ravens defense got a stop, they scored again, and then the play of the game took place when Bernard Pollard... Tom doesn't like it when I say it, but it's okay, I can deal with it. I can take him. But the Bone Crusher knocked out Stephen Ridley. He fumbled, and the Ravens scored to make it 20.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's been a while since I watched that game, but God damn, you did kill him.
Knocked out Stephen Ridley. He fumbled, and the Ravens scored to make it 28-13 in the fourth quarter, and that was too much to overcome for Tom. To Peyton Manning this year.
Yep.
Because he was just casually piloting.
This was another one that it hurt because the fact that it was another loss to Peyton Manning, but it was the fact that the Denver games were close. Like the one in 06. All right, we didn't play the best. We played awful. The two other games in Denver, we literally could have won those, but they just had the
greatest offense in NFL history. No team may ever score as many points as the 2013 Denver Broncos, and they had all the weapons you could possibly want. So this was going to take a hell of a performance by Tom Brady in their first meeting since 2006 in the playoffs. And to be fair, this was also one of the weaker Patriots teams that Tom had. So
exactly.
Yeah, while Peyton Manning had fucking Demaryius Thomas to work with, Tom over here had Kembrell Thompkins. And because the Broncos offense was stupid good, they took a 13-3 lead early, and again, it was clear, if Tom Brady was going to win this game and overcome Peyton in Denver, he was going to need a superhero performance. But it didn't look like it was coming, because after Denver scored in the opening possession of the second half, Brady found himself down 3-20, and on 4th and 2, basically for the game, Tom needed to make a play.
Yeah,
he was sacked in 0.4 seconds. So, yeah, that wasn't happening. From there, Denver was able to ice the game, just being ruthlessly efficient, and won it 26-16. So, at this point, Tom was running out of time. When was it going to happen, Tom? When
was it going to happen? the following year.
Are you gonna win one? Well, yeah, we're flash forwarding to 2015, and not because he didn't make the playoffs, but because in 2014 he won the whole fucking thing. He ran through the whole entire NFL, beating the Legion of Boom Seahawks.
You know what? No. I had to sit there and indulge and rewatch the fucking. Look at him. Ever so calm. Dot. Look at him. Ever so calm. Ever so calm. Kick handoff. Get off me. The next thing you know, drop back, looking calm. Dot. Boom. Brandon LaFell. Then next thing you know, second and goal, 1-on-1. Edelman. Pete Edelman on the bottom corner. Pete Edelman. 1-on-1. ISO. Legion of Boom, arguably the best defense in NFL history. You know what he does? You know what Julian Edelman does? You know what playoff Julian Edelman fucking does, nickel? You know what he does in those moments? Give it off. Boom! Fuck out of here. Ah! Goofy ass nickel. And then not to mention what happened on the following drive, of course. The greatest decision in NFL history. Why wouldn't it be? The greatest decision in NFL history. Clock at 5. Passes intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. There you go. Okay, now I'm healed now. I'm healed.
And winning the Super Bowl. So, congratulations, Tom. But in 2015, here we were in the AFC Championship game again. Versus Peyton.
That was another, like, literally the losses to Peyton Manning were all free Super Bowls. Literally, bro. We beat them in 06. Guess what? We easy dominate the Bears. Well, the Bears probably would have applied pressure in the first half like they were Peyton, and we would have adjusted because they had Rex Grossman at quarterback. They wasn't going to do nothing, bro. He's arguably worse than Eli. That's a achievement for fucking Rex Grossman. Fucking again against them. Nah, that's Seattle. We would not be in Seattle. We would not be in Seattle. We need one more year. As you guys saw. We need one more year. One more year.
Now, this was
against Cam Newton. But against Cam Newton and the Panthers, oh yeah, we'd have done that ass. Cam Newton wasn't gonna win. Cam Newton was not gonna beat us. Cam Newton was not gonna beat us. Bro.
Mentally, he was gone. So how the hell did the Broncos get here? Well,
defense.
They just casually had one of the greatest defenses of the modern era. Prime Aqib Talib, prime Chris Harris Jr., DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller. That's it. Something light, and it made things more difficult for Tom that the Broncos somehow managed to score
it was a good
on the
game.
Opening drive too.
Yeah,
so
it
they
was
were
a good
already
game.
in a hole.
This was literally for Peyton's last year. Literally, all of his energy went to this game. After the Super Bowl, he was checked out. He didn't care. He didn't care after that.
This was a very injured Patriots team too. It was Tom and Gronk versus the world. So could they do it? Well, down 12-20 after a 4th and 6 incompletion, it seemed over. But with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game, the Patriots got to stop, and Tom Brady had a small chance. You don't give Tom one more shot, you just don't do it. After 3 straight plays of instant pressures, set up a 4th and long, where Denver hadn't allowed a 4th down conversion in over 10 attempts, but Thomas doesn't care. And he found Gronk, and they picked it up. And now it was 4th and goal. Tom needed one more play, one more shot to keep them alive in this game, and he got it. Another touchdown to Gronk. And this was about to happen. All Tom needed was one more 2-point conversion, but it just wasn't meant to be, and it fell short. And Tom Brady would lose in the AFC Championship game, meaning Peyton Manning and the Broncos would advance, and Tom, for the 3rd straight playoff game versus Peyton, would lose, which is an interesting narrative because early on in their careers, Tom just destroyed him every single time. But things were about to get a lot better for Tom. We're fast forwarding to 2017. Again, because in 2016, 28-3 kind of happened, and he won the Super Bowl. But in 2017, we are back in the Super Bowl discussing another failure. This was a new and evolved Tom.
Okay. I wouldn't say, we did lose, but that Eagles team was a good team, bro. Again, I respect the Eagles for winning. Yeah, I respect the Eagles. I respect the Eagles Super Bowl loss more than I respect the New York win. Again, I had to really live in my hometown and have to live with that shit. There's a difference to this shit. And by the way, the Eagles have themselves a stacked team before Carson Wentz got injured, and then Nick Foles still somehow, some way managed to keep up the great play at quarterback, and he lost to Nick fucking Foles.
Different, higher being of football. He had a just seventh sense for the game that we may never see again. His methodical dink and dunk playstyle was legitimately unguardable. But Big Dick Nick does not follow the rules of gravity and matter. He doesn't give a shit. And what ensued was one of my favorite NFL games ever. Yes, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were facing the Philadelphia Eagles, led by the backup quarterback, Nick Foles, after Carson Wentz blew out his fucking whole leg.
And I'm gonna say this. The game, I felt like the game was about to be over after Brandon Cooks got fucking killed. That's when I knew we were in for a long game. Brandon Cooks got killed. He caught it, was trying to run, didn't see, boom! Got his shit lit. I'm looking at this nigga on the screen. This nigga look like Yamcha. I'm like, yo, is he good? We'll be right back with this, commercial break. Nigga, we going to commercial. Hey, nigga, he better get back up. Brandon, like, that, I was shooken up after that shit. I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. This Eagles team, they might give us hell. And he did. He gave us hope.
And it was a back and forth game all the way through.
It was.
There's nothing else to say. This
Brady
was
literally had the
Super
greatest
Bowl
performance of all
that Tom
time.
Brady ever played.
Literally
He
had the
was
greatest performance of
incredible.
all history.
He broke
bro.
Super Bowl passing yard records. He was ruthlessly efficient, but he lost because, again, he was on the wrong side of fate. Alshon Jeffrey had the play of his career. Zach Ertz, play of
Out
his
of bounds. He was out of bounds, by the way. He was out of bounds. I'm going to say that. He was out of
career.
bounds.
Nick Foles, game of his career. Besides that one versus us. But again, we don't need to talk about it.
No. No tub. No. Because remember, he had 7 touchdowns? He had a career day. It was 6 touchdowns against you. Nah, hold on. Nah, fuck that tub. I had to watch this shit as a Patriots fan. Fuck that. I remember that game. I think he was in St. Louis? Either St. Louis or Philly. And bro, I heard Nick Foles for 6 or 5 touchdowns. Like, who the fuck is Nick Foles? And that shit was on the Raiders. I'm like, damn.
Out of his mind. I really.
That was the first time I ever heard about Nick Foles.
But it just didn't matter. He finished the game with 505 yards and 3 touchdowns with no turnovers until Brandon Graham trips that with a strip sack fumble.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots fell to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And then this one, I had to go back to middle school because, I was talking shit. Me being me, I was talking shit when 28-3 happened. I pulled up my New England Patriots jersey, my sweater, feel me? Pulled on my sweater. I fell asleep in that sweater the same night, 28-3. I went to school the following year with that sweater on. Everyone was talking shit. Brady lost. Brady lost. I'm like, okay. Still got more rings. He still went to the Super Bowl. He still was the MVP of the league. Still was the cover athlete. You know what I mean? After the door, the roasting, but, again, see, ironic, but now my theme of my life is people who don't watch football in my life love to talk shit to me about my fucking team and my GOAT. Fuck out of here. And I hate that shit, bro. Where's my mother, bro? I hate that shit. Niggas don't be watching football and talking shit about my glorious GOAT. Fuck out of here. See this GOAT right here? See this man right here? He overshadows and overcame everything LeBron couldn't. Fuck out my face.
But how mad could Tom really be? This is 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Surely he won't get another one, though. Yeah, about that, because now we
The following year we won.
2019.
The following year we won again.
His 11th playoff loss. And by this point, things have changed completely. Again, he won another Super Bowl in 2018, but this core was getting old. I mean, Tom was an elderly gentleman. Bill Belichick was old as dirt. And hell, they were playing against Mike Vrabel as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, the challenger who would enter Gillette.
That broke my heart. No, that broke my heart. That just hurt.
Stadium in the 2019 wild card. But this game was a funeral for Tom's time in Tampa. It just wasn't meant to be. It seemed like he didn't have it anymore. He was washed. His weapons were bad, and the Titans just controlled the whole game and made it ugly. Derrick Henry had 84 carries for 763 yards, and Tom just couldn't break through the Titans' defense. And then his last pass as a Patriot turned out to be a pick 6 by his former teammate Logan Ryan. And after this game and this loss, Tom Brady would leave the Patriots after the season, winning 6 Super Bowls. But we ain't done yet. We're getting to 13, and we're not even getting to 12 in the 2020 season because all year long he won 4 playoff games straight, winning the Super Bowl, which takes takes us to 2020.
And you know who he beat? Ribbit, 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 ribbit. You gotta think. Ribbit. Patrick Kerman from Mahomes.
Where this 7-time Super Bowl champion
Yo.
and 44-year-old geezer
That
going
Rams game.
head-to-toe
Oh
with
my
a Super
God. Yo, bro. I remember. I was like, Brady gonna come back. And everyone texted me on Snap. This was high school senior year. I was chilling in my room. And that playoff weekend, yo, 2022 playoff weekend had to be one of the divisional round weekend had to be one of the best playoff weekends I've ever experienced in my life. No lie, bro. I was chilling in my crib that Saturday and Sunday. I had myself the fattest blunts. We're smoking in my room, chilling, eating like chicken cutlets. I had munchies. I was chilling, watching those games, and I watched cinema. Joe Burrow defeating the Titans. Even though that nigga had no time. He got sacked every 5 seconds. Then, it broke my heart. It hurt. It hurt. I wanted Brady to go back-to-back, but Stafford was on one. Then not to mention 13 seconds. How the fuck you go a lead in 13 seconds, Buffalo? Only the Bills. And then you had Aaron Rodgers. Still not overcoming his past in the 49ers. Cinema. It was cinema.
team in the Los Angeles Rams. Again, this was a magical game. And it seemed like it was going to be a repeat of the Ravens game from a few years back. They were getting blown out.
Both.
Tampa didn't have a chance. It was 27-3.
But I'm like, it's Tom Brady. Of course it's gonna
just
be
one number off of the magic 28-3. They didn't get all the way there, but thank fuck they didn't, because Tom Brady doesn't die. He fought back and capitalized on mistake after mistake from the Rams, and they ended up getting it to a tie game, 27-all with a 4th down touchdown from Leonard Fournette. But again, it's a theme throughout Tom Brady's career. It's crazy that you can argue, although he has 7 Super Bowls, he's one of the unluckiest quarterbacks ever. As
literally.
Eli Manning miracles, the Nick Foles moments, even just Joe Flacco evolving past what he's even capable of doing.
Literally! You see this? Unlucky. It was just straight. It wasn't the fact that he was playing bad. It was the fact that he got unlucky. See, LeBron just flat out played bad. And also got unlucky. Brady got unlucky all the time, bro.
Happen again, as with 42
except for the plumber
left,
game. That was
Tom Brady had to watch Stafford and Cooper Kupp connect twice and just have an all-time great drive to hit a
that was a dot. That was a dot. That was a dot to Cooper Kupp. I was
for like
literally when I saw that pass go up in the air, I'm like, hold on, Cooper Kupp. Oh shit, he 1-on-1. That's a dot, ain't it? Boom, run on the money. I'm like, shit. Well, game over.
3 days. Yeah, dude was not going to be spending any time with his family, but now we have arrived in 2022, the 13th and final playoff loss of Tom Brady's career, and this one's just sad, man. Because in 2022, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers were not a very good team. Tom just didn't have it anymore. I mean, he was 45 years old. This is the worst version of him we have seen since his rookie season, and versus the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card, a team that he had never lost to a single time in his career, that streak would finally be broken. Dallas just had the youth. They had Micah Parsons. They had CeeDee Lamb. And Dak Prescott had 300 yards and 4
Dak Prescott went
touchdowns
off there again,
with no mistakes. And Tampa was buried 24-0 right away. And Brady just had no more comebacks in him. He was cooked. And this was it. The final playoff loss for the greatest player of all time. But, 7 Super Bowls and 13 playoff losses is a pretty good ratio. I would say that. And this caps off Tom Brady's NFL career. But anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe.
Shout out to Frog. I know there was a good times in the video where I kind of lost sight of myself, but I tend to get very passionate about my Patriots, and more in particular, I get very passionate when talking about my my glorious GOAT, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. As you guys could see, the lighting is a little bright, but yeah, I'm out of here. Like, comment, sub, you guys do the channel. Bell notification if you guys are new. I'm out of here. 2 up, 2 down. Nooses.